I'm happy to come up online today for another live broadcast. Actually, yesterday, network, I couldn't actually finish my broadcast. I felt it's ideal for me to actually do a repeat broadcast of my yesterday live broadcast, which was abruptly this network broadcast. Yeah, sorry for the break in transmission. I think it was still due to network problem. So network is actually a challenge. I'm back online. I hope everybody is still seeing me here. So as I was saying, I need to do analysis of the blog that was released by the admin yesterday, and that was what I was trying to do in my yesterday's video, and before I was actually cut off by network. So trying to share my screen, possibly also trying to share my screen. Uh, this, trying to share my screen. Trying to share hopefully I'll be able to share my screen this night. My screen. Oh my God. Uh, I don't know if I'm having a challenge. I'm having a challenge sharing my screen. Uh, uh, think I still have to apologize for my inability to share my screen, but I think I'm still going to look at how best I can actually come up the with the blog. Oh my God. Yes. Right. Oh, yeah. I was not able to share my screen, but I think my God. Well, uh, I was not able to share my screen. This is going to be serious. Uh, um, I don't. Yes, I'm still online, and I wasn't able to share my screen. Oh, what do I do now? I just oh, that's it. Well, let me just continue with my. Let me continue with my maximum phone here. Hello, hello. Eh? Okay, para. Okay, okay, okay. All right. I've tried as much as possible to share my screen, but I wouldn't be able to share. It seems I wouldn't be able to share the screen tonight. I'm going to read out the blog, the TBC admin blog. There are two blogs that I'm going to really talk about. The first one is the blog that was actually released on June 17th, where the admin is actually asking us to do that. Is actually trying to differentiate between a broadcaster and a ringler. So the admin the blog is actually a poster as well. As usual, the admin is asking us, are you a TV sham or a ringler? So the we have to understand the difference between a TV sham and a ringler. Because admin goes further to say TV sham TBC, while a ringler is somebody that does not have up to one TBC. That is, that person, whatever he has, is actually measured in ringles. And that is why they are referred to as what? As a ringler. So what we are saying here is there is actually a difference between a Tibetan and a ringler. A Tibetan, as it is presently, or as it will be at the maturity at the maturity of our 1 billion mark, a Tibetan will be among the billionaires in the TBC community, while a ringler will be among the millionaires. So a Tibetan will be in the billionaire category, while a ringler will be in the millionaire category. So it is still possible for a ringler to become a Tibetan. So what you just need to do is to ensure that at least you purchase $100 worth of TBC. If you purchase $100 worth of TBC and you are able to pay your $10, and at least you do one broadcast, because as a Tibetan, admin has gone further to tell us in that blog that Tibetan was do broadcast. That means you have to, as a Tibetan, you would love to do broadcast. You will be willing and be interested in what in doing broadcast because of your interest, because of your value, your interest in the TBC community. Because as a Tibetan, you at least you are in the possession of of one full TBC, which makes you a billionaire in the TBC community. As a billionaire in the TBC community, your interest will be so much in the community to the extent that you want people to know that you are part of the community. You want people to see you as part of the community. You want people to hear your voice as part of the community. That is why division will always do what broadcast. So as a division, you have to do broadcast. You don't just even we have some divisions now that are not broadcasters. But that is the more reason why the next blog that I'm going to read is important to the divisions that are not yet a broadcaster. As a division, you have to be a broadcaster. You have to do broadcast. And as a ringler too, you have to try as much as possible to become a division. Because for you to what you need to become a division is not just too much. So what you need to become a division is just for you to actually purchase $100 of worth of TBC or Ringos and try as much as possible to do a broadcast. So when you do a broadcast, your reward will be multiplied. It will be two times and five times what is the normal reward before 21st of June. So that's why the next blog that I'm going to read, I will be much interested and it's still related to the admin, to TBC admin blog. When you look at the TBC admin, the TBC admin normally prepare grant for the next line of action that is going to take. Before the blog I'm going to read now was actually released yesterday. This blog that I'm reading presently that was released on 17th June as which title Division Do Broadcast. So the admin was asking a question in that blog that are you a division or a ringler? Because division do broadcast. So admin is trying to prepare our mind towards what will be the next line of action in the admin. I have to give kudos because I looked at the next blog that I want to read now. I look at it and I was like, admin is actually a wonderful person. Admin is actually a wonderful person. He's I wanted to actually use a particular word to describe the okay, yes, the admin is so magnanimous. When I read the next blog, you will know that admin is a foresight person. Our admin person is actually foresight person, and it's somebody that looks at so many things and begin to see how best they can actually make the best use or take advantage of the situation on ground. And that is the more reason why the next blog that I'm going to read, which was actually released yesterday, will be much interesting to every division or every member of the community. As a member of the CBC community, that blog will be very important and be most interesting to you. I am sure that yes, most people has actually a lot of people have actually talked about the blog. A lot of people has actually talked about the blog. The Bitcoin ID has actually talked about the blog, the Whitefish Lady, the Friendly Marketer. But I want to believe that yes, as as each an individual is actually discussing the blog, it is becoming an interesting matter to every other people that are not in the TVC community. And that's why it is important that when you look at the power of repetition is so important to the extent that when you keep doing something repeatedly, you become what a master, and people are getting used to that thing. People are actually, at least if one person does a broadcast now and it speaks on the same topic, one you will actually grab at least 70% of that, you actually grab some certain percentage of the message. And if that message is still relayed by another person, so that message will be more clearer to the people that are listening than the first person. So when you keep repeating the same thing, it gets clearer and more clearer, and people get to have more understanding of what is in stock about that particular thing. That is why I'm actually going to. It's a pity that I cannot even share my screen. I would have shared the screen and read the blog to everyone of them. But the blog has actually been read by so many people that do their broadcast. This man from CBC Code has also done one. The Whitefish Lady has done a broadcast on the same. CBC Randy has done. Stephen Kofi has done. Every other person has actually done a broadcast on the issue. So we have actually read. They have actually said a lot of things about the the blog. So I'm going to do my own analysis of the blog and be able to explain much about my understanding of the blog. And I'm sure that a lot of people that are actually listening and watching this video will be able to still understand better what what the admin has in stock for every member of the community. What the CBC admin has, the focus of the CBC admin for every member of the community. So I'm going to read the blog. The blog reads thus: 500% cookies reward bonus until July 21st, 2018. Five. So the admin said promotion runs from June 21st until July 21, 2018. 500% bonus. From that blog, the present reward before the 21st of June was actually put in a table where you have the reward for broadcasters, the cookies reward for broadcasters, and the cookies reward for basic member of the community. That means there are two members of the community now. So we have the broadcaster as a group of individuals in the community, and we have some people that are not broadcasters, but they are actually an active member in the TBC community, and that is what they are being referring to as the basic members. So we have cookies reward for broadcasters, and that is as at before the 21st of June, before today, we have cookies reward table for broadcasters, and we have cookies reward table for the basic uh, member. So the cookies reward table for the broadcaster, if you for you as for a broadcaster that are registered as a new when you register newly, you have the normal 25,000 Pringles cookies as reward, which will be can be converted to Ringgos during redemption period on the payment of $10 wallet lifetime wallet fee. But for you, when you pay your $10 wallet fee and you have your send button on, for attending the send button meeting as a broadcaster, you have what we call a 1 million cookies reward for attending the send button meeting. I said it in my earlier video that send button meeting comes up every Monday, 7 a.m. Pacific Daytime. 7 a.m. Pacific Daytime, which is in Nigerian time is 3 o'clock on Monday morning Nigerian time, 3 p.m. Sorry, 3 p.m. Nigerian time Monday. So for you as a broadcaster or as a member of the community that has that send button on, you are entitled to attend the send button meeting. But if you attend the send button meeting as a basic member, I'm going to be comparing the two now. As a basic member, you are going to be entitled to 1,000 cookies reward. But if you attend the send button as a broadcaster, let me say you have done at least one broadcast and it has been approved by TBC admin, and you attend a send button meeting, you are going to have a reward of 1 million cookies. That is before up till 28th of June. That's till yesterday. So for purchases now, if as a broadcaster, if you purchase $100 worth of TBC, you are going to have purchase $100 worth of TBC, you are going to have 100 million ring, which is one TBC as a broadcaster. But as a basic person in the TBC community, if you purchase a $100 worth of TBC, you are going to have 10,000, 100,000 cookies for that purchase. You can see the difference between a broadcaster and a basic member of the community. But for referrals, it's the same for a broadcaster and a basic member, which is what you call for referrals. You have 100 referrals, you have 1 billion cookies, which is 10 TBC for a broadcaster, and for a basic person, you still have 1 billion cookies, which is 10 TBC. If you do a broadcast if you do a broadcast as a basic member or as a broadcaster, you have 1 million cookies as reward. And if you are as a basic person, you have also 1 million cookies as reward. So you can see that the reward table before up till 28th June is what I've just read. And that is when admin has actually been trying to show a particular to build us towards doing broadcast, because I've actually loaded so much rewards in the broadcast so that every other person will be interested in doing broadcast. So that is the what they are. But as at yesterday, when another blog was out, the admin has decided to do 500% bonus on all rewards. 500% bonus on all rewards with effect from 21st June. That means with effect from today now. With effect from today, this blog that I'm going to read takes effect. With effect from 21st of July, this blog that I want to read takes effect. I read. This special offer will affect the value of all cookies reward by 500 times for all categories until the end of this promotion. The promotion runs between June 21st and July 21st. That is for 30 days. So within the period of the promotion, the value of cookies reward will be increased by 500 times for all categories. For all categories, whether you are a broadcaster or a basic member, it's for all categories. So it now depends on the value or the worth of the reward that is due to you, either as a broadcaster or as a basic member. But it will be increased for each of the reward that is due to you either as a broadcaster or as a basic member. It's going to be 500% times. The time is going to be 500% bonus. So the gift will now be, so for a new member that is joining the community, the gift will now be, since admin has actually increased everything by 500%, instead of 25,000 wrinkles, the gift will now be 125,000 cookies. Sorry, 125,000 cookies, which is redeemable at redemption period through by a payment then when after the payment of your $10 wallet fee, or after the payment of your $10 wallet fee and your status is confirmed as paid. So you are going to convert the 125,000 cookies into Ringo's during redemption period. Another redemption period is coming up in November, because so that is another redemption period. It's going to be throughout the month of November. So that is when so you have the opportunity of actually registering more and more members into the community for them to be able to enjoy this value of 100 within that 1 month of promotion period, for enjoy this value of 125,000 cookies as either as a gift for joining the community. Broadcast will be 5 million cookies. Broadcast will be 5 million cookies. For each broadcast that you do and is approved by TBC admin, you are going to have a reward of 5 million cookies for each broadcast and that is approved by TBC admin. For 100 referrals will be 5 billion cookies. Wow. For 100 referral as a broadcaster, if you have 100 referral within the promotion period, you're going to have 5 billion cookies, which is 10 times 5, that is 50 TBC. 50 TBC cookies, while the basic member will get just 5,000 cookies. So broadcaster will get 5 million cookies, while for referrals is the 5 billion. For that 100 referral is 5 billion cookies, which is 50 TBC. But for broadcasters, so we have said it that broadcaster will get 5 million cookies reward, while basic member will get 5,000 cookies for attending said voting meeting. For attending said, but for you as a broadcaster, you do a broadcast and it's approved, you have 5 million cookies. But as a if you attend the same voting meeting as a broadcaster, you have another 5 million cookies for attending the same voting meeting. But as a basic member, if you attend the same voting as a basic member, you will get 5,000 cookies. Before it was 1,000 cookies, but now it is 500 times, so it is 5,000 cookies. Before, for a broadcaster to attend the same voting meeting, it is 1 million cookies. But since the 500% bonus is there now, within the promotion period, we are going to have what, 5 million cookies for attending the same voting. Lastly, broadcaster will get 500 million cookies. Broadcaster will get 500 million cookies, while basic member will get 500,000 cookies for every $100 purchase during this special promo. For every $100 purchase by a broadcaster, it is 500 million cookies. For every $100 as a broadcaster, it is 500 million cookies. That is interesting. Wow. While for a basic member who actually purchased $100 worth of this visit, that person will also get 500,000 cookies. 500,000 cookies. Cookies. That's wow, interesting. So consider this: a brand new member that has never been with TBC before, we get as a gift $10,000 worth of cookies. That means 125,000 ringos that we are talking about, when converted to ringos, but during retention period is worth $10,000. As we are seeing present within the promotion period, what we are saying is for that 125,000, it is worth 10,000 cookies, and encouraged to buy $100 in ringos to get another $40,000 cookies reward. If you buy 100 dollars, another $100, and you have the 500,000 cookies, the 500,000 cookies will be worth $40,000. If you add the $40,000 to the $10,000 as free gift, $40,000 reward to the 10,000, it becomes what, 500 $500,000, which is just for a value of $110 payment for the purchase of the $100 and the $10 payment for the lifetime warranty. That's 110. $110 to get a value of 50,000 dollars worth of ringgit. That is presently within the promotion period. But after the promotion period, or that thing will be worth more than billions of naira. This is an even better offer than daily growth offer, which doubled money with. So when you look at every 2 weeks, that the 5% daily growth doubles from even July 7 to to November October 24th, what you only have, even with the way the thing double, you only have $25,600. With this is when you compare this to the $500,000 that you will have if you just purchase $100 worth of CBC as a new member. So as the CBC community continues to grow between now and November, this $50,000 example will be worth even more during the November redemption period. Of course, within the $50,000 worth that we are talking about is just within the promotion period. But before, by November, it will be even worth more than that. This is one of our best offer ever. This best offers ever for a basic member of our community. It has never happened before in the TBC community. I have to give kudos to TBC admin for this magnanimity. TBC admin deserves our applause. It deserves our kudos for this wonderful gift, for this magnanimity, because I've known TBC admin to be to always magnanimous for a new members coming into the community. And that new member was to buy $100 worth of CBC, that person will be worth over $50,000 worth of Ringo's value in his or her wallet during, in fact, even more than that during the redemption period. So during our last redemption period, which was extended until June 15, all members were treated like they were broadcasters. The every member for their for cookies redemption, every member was given the worth as if they were broadcasters. So this is one of the sorry for the break. It was actually due to network failure. So as I was saying before the network break, so to analyze the blog from the CBC admin, and we have been able to establish the fact that the success of the CBC community is actually, admin actually is saying that the success of CBC community is solely on drugs, because we have to get a lot of people to come and spread the gospel about the TBC community. So we need so many people to come out with their in their voices, each of their voices, to actually do a live broadcast and spread more about their TBC and the concept and the mission and vision of the TBC community. So the innovation of an abundance-based currency, we need the passive acceptance of a large group that is irrefutable. We have to continue to do broadcast to ensure that yes, we have to continue to do broadcast to ensure that yes, we we are able so we have to continue to do broadcast so that we would now be able to see that yes, this is this is our yes, this is our so I can share the screen now. So I'm trying to read the blog and I'm actually in the innovation of an abundance-based cryptocurrency of money. We need the passive acceptance of a large large group that is irrefutable. That what we are saying is we need to as much as possible to convince people to actually believe and accept, believe in the vision, mission of TBC and the concept of TBC and the vision and mission of TBC. That is, people have to agree. They have to. We have to find a way of changing the perception of people about the TBC community. That is the more reason why we need a lot of people to actually come out there and lend their voice to the concept of TBC, to the vision and mission of TBC. You can see how some dismiss our number of over 3 million members because most are hidden in the shadow, and it's only the broadcasters standing up firm and strong for TBC that has inspired us to move forward. If there has not been broadcaster, if every other person has been like the other members of the community that have actually gone into hiding and they are not really coming out, they are not there, they are like just inactive members of the community. They are part of the community, but they are not being seen, they are not being heard, they are not lending their voice to actually to support the unity of support the unity of the TBC community, to support the idea, to support the concept of TBC community. So if every other person has been like the other, so if the broadcast, so if there has not been those people that are standing firm and are actually doing propagating the gospel, they are actually they are actually spreading the news about TBC community, the people like the light of TBC, the voice of TBC, Bitcoin Randy, Dan Lewis, the Whitefish Lady, the Friendly Marketer, David Jones, the Stephen Coffey, and the other ones, other 10 top leaders of the TBC community. If there has not been for their own effort, for their human effort, for their own tireless, unrelentless effort of actually lending their voice, speaking consecutively, speaking consistently, and the vision and their speaking about their belief in the vision and mission of TBC, we wouldn't have had at least TBC community wouldn't have still stand as strong as it is now. So that's why what admin is saying here that we actually need more people to to be able to convince a lot of other people there to that actually change their perception about the community, actually change their belief about the community, to actually have a sort of confidence in TBC vision and mission. The power that be have worked hard for centuries to finally get us so far away from nature and the object abundance of it. What is actually the God that created human beings, actually created them and it created them in it created them and put them in abundance. Abundance is our natural gift. Abundance is our inheritance. Abundance is our right. But the power that be, the so-called elite, has actually worked, they actually had the program, they have programmed it in such a way that we are actually moving us far away from what our entitlement is. That becomes easy for them to convince the masses that we must accept scarcity as the norm of life. And that is what scarcity or that normal constituency is. It is wrapped in dirty deception that is reinforced through the news, movies, and educational system and all other outlets. The power that be controls and has actually forced us to believe and accept the fact that scarcity is of the norm of our life. Meanwhile, scarcity is not artificial. Scarcity is it is not our right. It is not our what we are entitled to abundance, but they actually take us far away from the nature which is the abundance, which is the abundance. So by design, we are always going to have. So the next paragraph is saying by design, we are always going to have a million billionaires and a billion millionaires in our TBC economy in order to have the right mix for a long time sustainable system and money supply that will enable us to fulfill our mission to end poverty globally. To enable us to fulfill our mission to end poverty globally. So the lack of billionaires and millionaires in the system we have today, it means the status quo is insufficient to support the cause of ending poverty, to support the cause of ending poverty. The elite design it that way, and they know their system perpetuates poverty forever. The elites are parasites on what God has created and literally suck the lifeblood of people away from them into the position of power over the people. CBC is here to restore the birthright of the people back to the people. CBC is the money of the people, by the people, and for the people. Our success in CBC will change the whole world for the better, creating states of abundance for all. For all. Perception is the main obstacle in our path to turn CBC into a huge success, and broadcasters are needed to affect the perception of the masses into the new version of reality that has not been seen in thousands of years. So what we actually, the essence of this blog is what is actually coined out in this paragraph. Our success in TBC will change the whole world for the better, creating states of abundance for all. That is the mission. That is the vision of TBC, creating state of abundance for all. So our success in TBC will change the whole world for the better, which will now create abundance for all. That is based on our success. So the only problem, the only obstacle, the only hindrance here is the perception. How do people see us? How do we present ourselves to other people of the world? How do we present the community? How do other people outside see the community? So what is their perception about the concept of CBC? What is their perception about the vision and mission of CBC? This is what admin wants the broadcaster and each person that is doing a broadcast to actually work towards changing in the positive way, so that the perception of people will now change positively through the vision in to possibly to the vision and mission of this, so that other people will now embrace CBC. They have to, we have broadcasters and affect the perception, a new version of the been seen in thousands. What the new version of is the fact that abundance is our birthright. That's the new version of reality for us to be able to know that, to be able to know that abundance is my birthright. And that is what TBC wants to bring to all and sundry, every people of the world. So TBC wants to bring back the abundance that is our birthright. So that is the more reason why we start to come out there and let the people know, let's change their perception about CBC. When we are able, if we are able to mean we are actually succeeding in achieving the vision and the mission of CBC. And another, so what we are going to get is a change in the whole world for the better, where we are now creating abundance for everybody. So for us as a TVian or as a broadcaster, I'm employing us to still try as much as possible to continue to convince other people who are not broadcasters to actually turn in and be able, even if it's just reading the blog like I am doing presently, it's enough for us to be able to reach out to the whole world about the TBC community. I cannot make this point much of how important our community. What we, we what the I mean, has actually said in that last paragraph of TBC, blah 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 blah. It's even clear enough to also know that need now is publicity. I want to put it in that way, positive publicity, so that we can, through positive publicity, that we can change the perception of other people into in TBC, in the TBC, in the TBC concept, in the TBC meeting. It is our positive publicity by broadcasting is to is publicizing, or we are actually doing publicity for community as a broadcaster. That's what we are doing. Actually, come out. This is what is happening in the. This is what is going to happen 2 days in the next couple of days. You are actually doing publicity. You are actually putting into limelight more information about that particular doing for concept title. Not about that particular entity. Actually, ourselves. It's a dual thing. Advertising the CBC community, spreading the good news about the CBC. That's why I call it positive publicity, PP. So we need broadcasters. Broadcaster is the only, we cannot do it through some of the social media, because some of them will actually kill our morale. Some of the comments in the social media were, but this is our own, the TBC 24/7 live broadcast is our own area. It's our own, it's our own, it's our property. We can actually use that medium to reach out to everybody, because if you I want to, if I don't want some people to come into, I can actually ban them from my broadcast and I won't be able to. So what we need is to actually be focused, focus success as a broadcaster. So I'm encouraging every other person out there to come out and what do broadcast. So I mean, it's still saying that, so the broadcaster will be the billionaire division, while the basic member will be the millionaire ringler that thrive off the effort of the broadcasting billionaire. I pray that everybody will strive to be what, a broadcaster, and leave the era of a ringler. Because if you are just somebody that is contented, you say, yes, even if I'm a millionaire, it's okay. But what is your contribution to the community? Let's leave the issue of billionaires and millionaires category now. But what is your contribution to the community? Tomorrow, when the community eventually reaches and achieves their big success, what will be said about you? What would be your own? What would be your ego, and say, yes, people that actually spread the gospel about ABC, and that actually achieved, that actually assisted in achieving the vision, assisted in achieving the recorded by the general person with what BBC community would achieve success. But in order for you to be part of the success story, everybody has to be a broadcaster. Come out here and but as much as possible broadcaster to ask to do a live broadcast. So we need as much as possible broadcasters to do a live broadcast and lend their voices to the community. We need a unified community. We need a solid community where possible, and we can have one voice to fight the elite that is actually trying to enslave us. So we need, I mean, say a million broadcasters is more than enough to change the perspective of almost everyone on earth, because we speak the truth out loud. A million broadcasters is more than enough. So what we are saying is everybody, we are about 3 million, everybody has to be a broadcaster. We have to be seen as actually saying this, coming out to actually lend our voice to the talk to the vision and mission, to achievement of the success that we are fighting to achieve. So that is unique every the area of the basic minimum 100 dollar purchase is about $40 billion. That is an enormous reward to figure out the broadcast and approved by admin. The 500% bonus for a broadcaster making $100 purchase about a 40 billion. This is interesting. This is an encouraging thing because for you to just have purchase $100 worth and you have $40 million worth of cookies as bonus, that is interesting. That is interesting, and this is actually encouraging. And I hope that people will look at this and be able to now see that yes, I must, as a broadcaster, I must purchase, I must make $100 purchase. This is an important role to figure out procedure to get the broadcast done and approved by me. The rewards are and have been unlimited, so purchase as much as you would like as a broadcaster. And for each set of $100 purchase, you will receive $40 million each. Once you get a taste of broadcasting, we hope you enjoy it a lot. So keep it up long time. We will show you the fast track to become a broadcaster immediately after you join us as a paid member. Billionaire status is within the reach of those that choose to become CBC broadcaster. That is the end of the blog. And I'm sure that every other person out there will still, every other person out there will want to, I didn't share my screen. I didn't share my screen. So that is bad. That is bad. So no problem. At least I've been able to really do much about the blog. But let me see if I can still look at some other blogs and look at some other blogs. Amazing clarity about 500. So that was a video done by the Deacon Randy. So your voice is the key to breaking free from enslavement to the elite. Your voice is the key to breaking free from enslavement to the elite. That's what we are seeing. Being a broadcaster, come out there and lend your voice to become, to stay from enslavement to the elite. Can you make a difference? That's another big question that we need to ask ourselves. So far as that is concerned, I think I have been able to try and do the analysis. I will be doing the analysis of other blogs later in the next video. Until then, I say God bless